Courtship consultant, dating expert Brandon Aki is back with us here today. Brandon, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Oh, good to see you again. You're looking so dapper today.
Thank you.
Chad, doesn't he look amazing?
Oh, yeah. Brandon, thank God you're back. We always get flooded with tons of questions and everybody always comments on how handsome your outfits are. You look great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So Brandon, we have kind of an interesting, tough question today.
Okay.
And we get asked this a lot, so clarify for us. So Brandon, can a relationship that starts out as purely physical, can it last long term?
That's a tough topic.
Yes.
That's a very tough topic, and the answer is yes, right? So anything is possible, right? But you know, when you use the term purely physical, well, then now you have to really think about the complexity that's going on, and you know, the uphill battle that you're pretty much creating in your relationship.
Yeah.
Right. You know, ultimately, all relationships go through phases, but what they all end up being is that family type of love that you've got. Right, where you care about that person, and if you've ever been in love, it's the same situation where people feel that, where you always want the best for them and you think about them, you know, fondly, right? Yes. Well, when you have that type of thing, well, then you don't want to set yourself up in a situation where you've fallen in love and now you are stuck because you have all these emotions going on, and he signed up for something purely physical and you had other intentions, right? And and you can't fault him for it, right? But you still get mad about it. So you always want to set yourself up in a great position, which is, hey, start with a foundation that's going to last long term, and that is having a great friendship first and foremost.
Because I think, Brandon, sometimes as ladies we think, oh, we can change him. But don't think that way. You don't think that way, because I've been around the block a few times, Brandon. Like say the big long Canadian block, and you can't change him. So if it is starting off as a pure physical relationship and you've already set that tone, right? Don't expect to walk down the aisle with this guy. It could happen, like you said, anything's possible, but I put a big but. Chad, what do you think?
I mean, anything could happen, right? I mean, and if it starts off in that kind of capacity, if you end up enjoying each other's company, I mean, like, who knows? Like, I don't know.
But Chad, I don't think wedding bells, like you said, anything can happen, but if those wedding bells don't happen.
And you don't want to have resentment on the other side as well, where it's just like, hey, well, we started out this way and that's what I thought we were, then why are you trying to change it now?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And first and foremost, if you're going to go down that road, then realize that, hey, you're going to have to make a concerted effort to get them to focus on the things that are non-physical, while still fulfilling those physical things, because that's where you started out. So be very, very cognizant that you've created an uphill battle, and be very careful about it.
That's right.
Brandon, that was great advice. Okay, but I have a question from Rona. Rona wants to know, what advice can you give for single ladies who haven't dated in 10+ years? Where should they start? Do you just go with coffee first?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. And, really in those 10 years, a lot has happened. We're talking about a decade, so, multiple administrations of, presidents have gone through and everything like that. So you have to realize that the dating scape has changed dramatically. What you want to start doing first and foremost is start, keeping up with current events, especially like pop culture. A lot of people don't think about this, but the biggest thing is that men are visual, right? But then once you have that visual component taken care of, well, then now it's all about the conversation, right? So things that he can relate to, some movies and things like that. Make sure that you're not just watching chick flicks, right? Keep up on a lot of the things that he might watch, right? Just, so then that way you understand, hey, there's some things that have changed, right? Watch a lot of good comedy shows. Don't take yourself too seriously, right? And keep up with those pieces of it, because then you can understand, like, hey, now we have some things that we can laugh about as well, right? And then the other side of that is, scope out your destinations first, right?
You always say that. I love that. Scope out, know where you're going. That's a good
Pay attention to, hey, like, is it a high-priced type of place? Is it going to have an outdoors kind of scene? Do you need to bring a jacket? All those things that would normally take up that mental space.
Right.
Make sure that all those don't have to, be there. So now you're thinking about being in the moment with the person rather than, oh, like, I'm freezing cold right now. now. I should have brought a jacket.
Yes.
You know, oh, well, this place costs, you know, $25 a drink. I should have brought a bigger wallet. You know, that kind of thing. So.
That is great advice. Chad, is that not great advice?
Yeah, because, you know, when I read that question, I was kind of like, I don't know what to tell her, but actually it seems like so much easier than you would think. Just get involved and do your research and you can have fun with anybody, anywhere. Yeah. That is so cool. Okay, next question. Chris wants to know, this is interesting, how young is too young of an age difference for dating?
How young is too young of an age difference? That really is a tough one, because there really are those people out there who are young at heart. You know, they have a very, you know, good free spirit and everything like that, even though, and they truly have not embraced getting older. Yes. And those types of people are magnets for younger energy, right? So, you know, when we talk about age appropriateness, there are a lot of guys, I mean, by and large, they say that men mature, you know, slower than women, but there are a lot of great guys out there who, you know, have their life in order, and they have a lot of great things going for them, and they just want to have someone that to meet them in the right, you know, to meet them on the same playing field. So always keep your heart open for that. So to answer your question, that's a lot tougher one. In general, you want to make sure that you at least are in the same generation.
That might be a good idea, right?
Yeah, because then at least you have some commonalities and things like that. You say, you know, whenever, you know, I was on a date a couple years ago, and I made a joke about Mr. T. This is before the new A-Team came out, and the girls had, I mean, and this was like a group date, but they had no idea who I was talking about. I was like, wait a second. And I realized it was a drastic age difference. And so, you know, as a man, you know, I realized that, hey, I'm out and I'm traveling a lot, and I give off more of a younger energy, but, you know, and I wasn't thinking to myself like, wow, this is a drastic difference. She doesn't know who the A-Team is. Right.
And I think, Brandon, I'm going to say something about what you always say on the show is go for the person who you want to be with when you are the person you want to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Who's going to be great for the person that you're going to become.
Yes.
And you know, and with that being said, when you have an appropriate aged relationship, they keep that in mind as well. Yes. They have a good, healthy understanding of who they're going to be. Yes. And when you have that matchup, you can't go wrong. That's
true. And ladies, if you're going to go on a date with Brandon Aki, figure out who the A-Team is, right, Chad?
I mean, who's Mr. T? What?
But it's those, and we don't think about it, but it's those little things that keep us going. Yes. With, like, you're on a roll, and you're like, I pity the fool who doesn't understand that. And it's like, what? And it just kind of goes, and there's crickets, and you're like, ugh.
So true.
It's the little things that get you by sometimes.
Right, exactly. And on those little things, Brandon Aki, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Courtship
thank you. It's
consultant.
Always great to be here.
Oh, we love having you here.
Thank you.
Make sure you check Brandon out on all the social media and find him at brandonaki.com.